everyone, this is Always Apple FTD and welcome to today's video. In today's video, I bought this huge lot of iPhone screens, logic boards, and parts. And I believe this lot also contains a few iPods. Now I purchased this lot off eBay for around $100 and the description didn't say if they were tested or untested. But it did look like from the picture that there were a lot of housings with logic boards in them, but not too many screens. So hopefully I can get some of them working. I'm also hoping there might be a few usable screens in the lot and then we can use those for other devices of the same model. So with all that being said, let's start opening up the package. Okay, so we are inside and you can see that the seller is very nicely packaged everything. Let's take a look. Looks very good. We got some bubble wrap and bags. Like that. I guess let's start taking them out. So, there's just a case. Looks a little bit messed up. So taking a first look at the bags, it looks like a lot of them have labels. Like this one says parts only, which is really interesting. Let's see if any of them... I saw in the beginning that this one is partially working. Looks pretty good. This looks like just like a kit of like iPod Touch first generation, I believe. Good stuff. The one that says partially working is a good sign, so hopefully that means that we can get some of those working. There's another one that says parts only. Lots of like iPhone 5 and 4 housings. Here are batteries. Which I think is kind of funny that they ship plain lithium-ion batteries like this because normally they're inside a phone, so I guess we'll have to test those as well. This one is just a bunch of screens. It's interesting. Hopefully some of these work. And that's it. Oh, we have one more bag down here. It looks like just, I think that's an iPhone 4, I believe. Could be a 4S as well. I think I'm going to go ahead and open up all these bags and lay them all out, and then I guess we'll start testing them. So I'm going to go ahead and fast forward this. Oh my gosh. What the heck? This iPhone 5S here has like the top and bottom metal parts like completely ripped off. Wow. I actually don't know what you call these sides, but how the heck did that happen? I've honestly never seen a phone with those pieces ripped off. That's really weird. I'm also noticing that the logic board is a little bit chipped in the corner here where it's bent, so I'm not sure if this one will work or not. Whoa! What the heck? I can just get this out of here. This phone has like exactly the same parts ripped off, like on the bottom, like that iPhone 5S. I wonder how this even happens. That's crazy, look at that. Alright, so I've gotten all the phones laid out on the floor here. So we've got models ranging from the iPhone 3G to the iPhone 7 Plus, which by the way was the one that had all the weird torn off metal. And I guess we're going to start testing them. So I think I'm going to start with the ones that we took out of the smaller bags. And I'm not sure how many of these will turn on and be functional, but I think I'll start with those. And then I'll move on to the ones in the bag that says partially working. And I feel like those ones might have a better chance of working. So let's get testing. Okay, so I just tested all these screens, and these were in the bag with all the screens. And some of them work, most of them don't work, so here are the conclusions. This one, it says parts, does not work. This one is just a metal housing. This one does work. The touch works and the LCD is perfect, so that's good. I can use that for these devices. This one does not work. This one actually does not show any life. It doesn't show any turning on or anything. This one does not work. This one has a really messed up LCD. It shows all these weird lines in that. This one does not work. I think it might have some kind of a cable issue up there. This one does not work. This one turns on and the LCD works fine, but the touch is weird. So like at the bottom part, you actually can't swipe. So I'm not going to use that one. That's not considered functional. And the last one here looks pretty weird, but this one does work. So anyways, I'm going to take this one and I'm going to use these two for testing. This is an iPhone 5 screen, so I'll use this with all the 5. This is an iPhone 5S, but it's also compatible with the iPhone SE. So it will also work on all the SEs in this lot as well. And then I'm just going to go ahead and get an iPhone 6 screen, because I need a spare iPhone 6 screen to test out all the iPhone 6s, so I'll be right back. Okay, so my bad, I actually totally forgot, but there's actually another pile of screens, actually a separate pile. So I'm actually going to go ahead and test those now. And this one actually does include an iPhone 6 screen, so I'm hoping that this one works because it's not cracked. So I guess we'll see. Alright, so I am back. So here's the news with these screens. So this one is just a back. This one, I'm not even sure why they threw that in. This is just a weird digitizer glass thing of... It almost looks to be... I mean, I'm just guessing this. I have no idea. But it could be part of that iPhone 7 Plus. It just looks like a Plus device no matter what. So, that's these. This one does not work, so I'm going to have to get my own iPhone 3GS screen. But I probably may not be testing the iPhone 3GSs because there's only a few of them. And they appear to not have logic boards in them. So I won't be able to test those because they're not actually... real phones. This one does not work. This one has this weird, like, it goes all, like, white, so the LCD doesn't work, and I don't hear any clicking sounds when I'm swiping it. So I don't believe the touch doesn't work. This one does not work. This one just shows it's just completely black. There's no life in it. This one does work, so I was really excited about it, but the iPhone 6 screen actually does work, and everything works with it, so I'll be able to use that for the 6s, which is really good. This is another back, and this is just the screen to an iPod Touch first generation, so I'm not even sure if there is one in this lot. I guess they might have just thrown it in, I'm not sure. And for the last one, it's completely cracked and has very bad liquid crystal damage. That's it for the screens, and we managed to get a working iPhone 6 screen, which is crazy because that means we essentially have all the screens we need to test these. Let's get testing. So I think I'm going to go up in the iPhone models. The first thing I'm going to start with is the iPhone 4s, and then I'll just be going up in the models just to let you know. Also, I'm going to be putting the ones that don't work across to the side here and the ones that work over here. And all the ones that work will be in its own pile. Alright, so here are the results. So I've made piles. So this pile, none of them have been tested yet. All of these phones were the ones that came out of the bag that said partially working. These ones over here are all the ones that did not work. Now, unfortunately, most of the ones that were in those other bags that didn't say anything on them, and some of them said parts only, actually, most of them did not work. These ones over here are the ones that I couldn't test for some reason. Like, these ones don't have logic boards. These iPod Touch 4s here, I knew there were some iPods in here from the beginning, but they have really hard things with the screens, and it appears that some of it's been broken. For example, I lifted this logic board up, and it has broken the connector. This one, I don't have a screen for. I may be able to find a screen for it soon. And this one is missing its dock connector. And these, as you can probably tell, these are the ones that had the crazy metal ripped off. That was so wild. These ones here are just kits, like bags, you know? They've got, like, just mixed parts. This one, I think, is to assemble, like, it has just mixed parts. This is, like, an iPhone 3G or 3GS logic board. I think an iPod Touch 1 housing. And then this one looks like, it almost looks like somebody disassembled an iPhone. I think it's a 3G. Yes, it is a 3G, because it's, remember that one was really blurred. And so I may try to put that together. It looks like it's got like the parts. These are the screens, and these few ones here were the ones that showed life. This one I remember showed an Apple logo, and these two I actually forget, there's so many. But these ones showed life. And then this one here was one that showed like a weird blue screen of death, and if you don't know what that is, it's when the screen like lights up with a blue background, but there's nothing displaying. So I'm not sure if that's like an operating system issue, or if like maybe the battery connector isn't properly connected. So I'll have to further test that one as well. So now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go ahead and test all the ones that were in the partially working bag. Okay, so I'm very pleased to say that the seller did live up to their word when they said partially working, because all of these turned on. In fact, most of them turned on all the way to the Apple logos. It's honestly more than partially working, but maybe they just didn't test them fully. The only one that had a weird glitch was this iPhone 5 here, and what happened was when I turned it on, it showed that blue screen of death that I explained earlier, where the screen is just all blue, there's no picture, you know? But I have a feeling that it still might be functional. It might be because there's no battery in it, or it also could be a software issue, so I'll be dealing with that later as well. So as you can see, most of the phones in the slot over there were the ones that did not work or not functional, which is unfortunate because that means the bulk of this lot did not work. But looking on the bright side, all of these ones worked here, which is very great, so I'm happy about that. I'm also happy that these screens worked as well, which I'm pretty happy to have those new screens in my collection. Okay, so here's the conclusion. So these are all the ones that worked here, and this pile here is the ones that sort of work but need a little bit of help. This one you might be wondering, because you'll see if I plug it in, that it appears that it works. Hang on a sec. It will show the app logo, but the reason it's doing this is actually really interesting. So you might be wondering, well, why doesn't it show the battery symbol? Because the battery's in. But if you look really close and examine, the plastic part that holds the battery clip, so not the metal battery clip that clips into the part of the logic board, but the actual plastic piece that receives the battery clip that it snaps onto on the logic board has, for some reason, desoldered. So I don't think I'll be able to resolder that on, but it's really wiggly, and it's still screwed on, so that's the only thing that's holding it. But for some weird reason, it's come detached from the logic board, the actual receiver part that receives the battery clip. So that's what's making that issue. And I've noticed that if I press really hard on it and plug it in, then it shows the battery symbol, meaning that it's charging. So this one will likely not be too functional because it has that really weird, hard to fix issue. And this one, I don't think I actually explained this one, but it does this weird thing where when you plug it in, you might have seen on the film, but it shows this weird half white screen, half blue screen, and I'm actually pretty sure that this is a logic board thing, because by the way, I have switched this out, and it still does the same thing. So I have a feeling that the connectors by the connect the display to the logic board might be damaged in some way. It doesn't appear that way, but I think they might be maybe there might be a tiny bit of rust or thing on there. And this one is just another one that doesn't fully function. And also, if you're wondering, I will be testing out these kits over here off camera in my own personal time, and I will also be testing out the batteries. It's funny, they included even some Samsung batteries. Kind of interesting. I wonder if those work. So anyways, that's it for this lot. Feel pretty good about what I got working, and it is unfortunate that these things didn't work, but, you can't change what you can't change. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, comment down below your thoughts, and of course subscribe to my channel for more content like this. That's it for now, and I'll catch you in my next video.